Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor-General of Canada, and Madame Yolande Grisé, President of the Royal Society of Canada. Votre Excellence, Madame la Présidente, Monsieur Macaulay, chers nouveaux membres, lauréats et lauréates, Mesdames et Messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue à la cérémonie d'ouverture du 130e anniversaire de la Société royale du Canada. Welcome to the opening ceremonies of the 130th anniversary of the Royal Society of Canada. My name is Darren Gilmore, and I am the Executive Director of the Society. This evening, in celebration of this weekend, and to formally open the AGM festivities, we have 3 speakers. Each of this evening's speakers is also a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada. The Royal Society is honored to have once again partnered with the University of Calgary to present these opening ceremonies. And I would like to begin this evening's program by inviting Dr. Ed Macaulay, Vice President Research of the University of Calgary, to bring greetings from the university. Dr. Macaulay.
It's a great honor to have His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston and Professor Yolande Grisé to join us this evening. His Excellency honored us earlier this week by accepting an honorary doctorate of laws at the University of Calgary and gave a truly inspiring speech to our students' convocation. I'd like to introduce our newest graduate from the University of Calgary. And I'd like to welcome you both. I want to extend our warmest congratulations to the Royal Society on its 130th anniversary. The University of Calgary is a strong supporter of the Royal Society, and we are delighted to support this year's opening ceremony. Au nom de l'Université de Calgary, je veux souhaiter la bienvenue à tous les nouveaux membres de la Société royale du Canada. Congratulations to all of you for the excellence you represent. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my colleagues from the University of Calgary, the new fellows and the medal winner this year, Dr. Steve Larder, Canada Research Chair in Petroleum Geology and Director of Carbon Management Canada, Dr. David Proud, the Professor in the Department of Physiology and Pharmacology in the Faculty of Medicine and a member of our Snyder Institute, Dr. Hans Vogel from the Faculty of Science, AHFMR and AIHS Senior Scientist, and Professor Aretha Van Herk, an English professor who became a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1997. She is being awarded the Lauren Pierce Medal for her fiction and nonfiction work, her work as a critic, her tremendous mentorship of apprentice writers, and her active contributions to Canada's literary and cultural communities. The University of Calgary is also proud to be a lead supporter of the acquisition of Walter House, the first permanent home of the Royal Society of Canada in Ottawa. We sponsored replacement of the roof at Walter House, ensuring that the RSC has a roof over its head for the next 130 years. As many of you know, our university has a bold strategic vision to become a top 5 research university in Canada by our 50th anniversary in 2016. We're very young. Our goals and those of the RSC are closely aligned, and we are very pleased to support the Royal Society as it moves throughout the country. Next year, the Royal Society's annual general meeting will be held in Banff, Alberta, and the University of Calgary is proud to be a presenting sponsor. And may this serve as a first invitation to you Your Excellency, to join us in Banff next year. And I hope that everyone else in this room tonight also joins us there. Merci, merci bien, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Macaulay, and thank you to the University of Calgary for your magnificent support. J'aimerais maintenant inviter le président d'honneur de la Société royale du Canada, son Excellence le gouverneur général, à prendre la parole. Votre Excellence.
Madame la Présidente, Monsieur Gilmore, fellows and members of the Royal Society of Canada, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what a delight it is to be here to congratulate the Royal Society of Canada on the occasion of this milestone anniversary. And Ed, I'm so glad you referred to that splendid day I spent with you at the University of Calgary, such an exciting institution, and to participate in your convocation. I have participated in a few and have a chance to speak to graduates from that podium. And I often quote Northrop Frye at a convocation when he was speaking to graduates. He said, "This is one of the 4 epic events in your life, the other 3 being your birth, your marriage, and your death. This is the only one where you are sufficiently compos mentis to know what's going on, so enjoy it." And I want to tell you, Ed, did I ever enjoy that convocation. It was my predecessor, Lord Lorne, who first proposed the establishment of this society, fondly referring to it as one of his Canadian children. And what a child it was, and what an adult it has become. Lord Lorne saw the Royal Society as part of a renaissance in the arts and sciences in the Canada of the 1880s. And in many ways, I think we can say something similar today. These are exciting, challenging times for Canada, and indeed for the whole world. As former Privy Council clerk, that outstanding Canadian Kevin Lynch recently put it, "You know the times they are a-changing when the world's tallest building is in Dubai, the world's largest shopping mall in Beijing, the world's largest movie industry in Bollywood, the world's largest traded company is Chinese, and the world's richest man is Mexican." Quite simply, we've arrived at a major hinge point in our history. Our context is global, and yet the importance of fostering diverse and innovative communities of learning cannot be overstated. And of course, this brings me back to the Royal Society of Canada, which is likewise undergoing a period of reinvention, renewal, and renaissance. And let me commend you on so many of the inspiring initiatives currently underway. And just to mention a couple, the new mentorship program for First Nations youth. One of the great challenges of our country is the education of our First Nations people, and I really am excited that we're at a particular point in time where the confluences are working in our favor. And it's so terrific to see the Royal Society taking that initiative and saying we're going to be part of that happening, of that movement. The plan to establish a college of new scholars, artists, and scientists, how appropriate it is to reach to the next generation in that way. And I could go on with others. Il est important de mettre l'accent, comme vous le faites, sur le développement des jeunes talents et des talents émergents. Je crois que Lord Lorne aurait été d'accord avec moi, lui qui a été à 33 ans le plus jeune gouverneur général du Canada. Le renouvellement de la Société royale du Canada est une source de réjouissance, puisque les avantages de la collaboration entre les dirigeants canadiens du domaine des arts ainsi que des sciences humaines, naturelles et sociales n'ont fait que croître avec le temps. For 2 main reasons, it is essential that we work together and become familiar with one another's interdisciplinary languages. Firstly, the complex interrelated challenges of the 21st century cannot be solved in isolation, and collaboration is the key to discovery. Most of the tough problems that we deal with in our work are problems that cannot depend on their solution from one subdiscipline. It requires that collective approach. The mapping of the human genome, perhaps the most important discovery in history, and so recent within this past decade, is a prime example, and it was made possible by the dynamic interaction of medicine and computer science, one of many new disciplinary hybrids in our world. The second point is we must always remember that each advance in our learning has a ripple effect on our culture and society. The explosion of knowledge in our time requires a parallel expansion in our ability to think critically and imaginatively, and we must communicate the significance of our discoveries widely. Roger Martin's book, Roger, the magnificent dean of the Rotman School of Business at the University of Toronto, The Integrated Mind, makes this point well. But by providing a forum for the meeting of minds, the Royal Society of Canada is making a most remarkable and important contribution to the building of what I call a smarter, more caring nation. The theme of my installation address was a smarter, more caring nation, a call to service. And at the root of that, of course, is keener minds and kinder hearts. How appropriate for a country like Canada. In a sense, the Royal Society functions like a surveyor's transit, used to triangulate distances by measuring both horizontal and vertical angles, which is to say, helps us to see things whole. Some of you will remember those lovely children's books of E.B. White, who was the editor of The New Yorker, an adult magazine, but wrote books like Charlotte's Web and Stuart Little. And isn't it interesting that often out of the children's books you get the most profound thoughts? E.B. White spoke about seeing things whole, and that's what he meant, seeing things whole, the ability to see things whole. Let me suggest another metaphor, that of a library with books on every subject gathered under one roof. And with that image in mind, I'm pleased, formally, now, at this moment, to announce the creation of a new library at your headquarters here in Ottawa. And I'm even more delighted to announce that this new reading room, with the support and encouragement of his many friends, colleagues, and loved ones, is to be named in honor of, and this is a surprise, Rod MacDonald. Rod, where are you? Rod is here somewhere. There he is. God love you, Rod. God love you. Now, as these drawings indicate, and they're right here on the right, as these drawings indicate, the MacDonald Reading Room will be a wonderful addition to Walter House. And as a longtime friend doesn't do justice to the relationship I have with Rod. I regard him like a brother, colleague, etc., from my wonderful law faculty days at McGill, where Rod was dean. Now, this was very interesting. Rod was dean of the law faculty, so theoretically speaking, I was his boss. We got that part of it? I was also a member of the law faculty and taught in the law school. And Rod was my boss. So I had to do the personal evaluation for merit pay for Rod each year, and he had to do a portion of the personal evaluation of me for merit pay each year. And can you guess that we both got pretty good evaluations? I can't imagine a more appropriate tribute to Rod than this reading room. Someone who's given so much to the world of learning, to the law, and to this country with intellectual horsepower that you simply can't believe. And this, of course, is a part of the renewal that Rod was leading so well as President of the Royal Society of Canada. I can already see Rod engrossed in a book in the MacDonald Reading Room, and I look forward to visiting in future. And Rod, I'll bring a few sandwiches along so we can just sit down cross-legged on the floor and read and discuss what's in those books. Once again, as patron of the Royal Society of Canada, I offer my thanks for your dedication to excellence and my warmest congratulations on this milestone anniversary. And then let me now propose a toast. I have a glass in my hand. I think some of the others do. Let me propose a toast to the continued success of the Royal Society of Canada. Merci.
Your Excellency, thank you very, very much. We are honored by your support, and our commitment to you is to work to continue to earn that support. Merci encore. J'aimerais maintenant inviter la présidente de la Société royale du Canada, Madame Yolande Griset, à dire quelques mots. Madame la Présidente.
Votre Excellence, Monsieur le gouverneur général, Monsieur Macaulay, distingués invités et chers collègues, merci d'avoir répondu à notre invitation pour célébrer ce soir la vitalité d'une institution qui affiche une forme splendide en son 130e anniversaire. La Société royale du Canada est une véritable inspiration de longévité. Le savoir et la culture, on peut l'affirmer haut et fort, sont une perpétuelle source de jouvence. Thank you very much for being here this evening. The 2,000 Fellows of the Royal Society of Canada and its close to 50 institutional members are deeply honored by the support we receive from the Governor General. Your Excellency, as a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada and as Honorary Patron of the RSC, you are Canada's foremost champion of our country's remarkable community of scholars, researchers, and artists, both at home and abroad. You embody the values of the RSC. Your long life commitment to education and your emphasis on smarter, more caring Canada are priorities that we are proud to share and support. Thank you so much for your leadership of the Royal Society of Canada, as well as the Canadian scholars and teachers. As Dr. Macaulay and His Excellency have noted, this weekend is a moment for celebration. I am delighted that so many of you are here to celebrate with us this evening. A celebration is always the result of an achievement, and success is always the result of the efforts of many people. A celebration of 130th years has a list far too long to mention here this evening. However, His Excellency has referred to the leadership of my predecessor, Rod MacDonald, and Rod would be the first to say that organizational successes are, more than other outstanding accomplishments, a collective endeavor. Achievements are due to the support of colleagues, friends, family, partners, sponsors, and volunteers. This evening, as we celebrate the opening of the 130th anniversary celebrations of the Royal Society of Canada, I would like to say thank you to the over 300 fellows who work currently in day-to-day activities of the Royal Society of Canada to pursue its mission. Let me acknowledge two fellows whose recent contributions have been integral in bringing us to this point. Comme vous le savez, la Société comprend 3 académies et nous avons le bonheur ce soir de compter parmi nous 2 des 3 présidents sortants, Céline Saint-Pierre et Graham Bell. Graham has recently been elected as my successor as RSC president. Graham, we are delighted with your election, and I hope that this evening and this weekend will serve as a testimony to the magnificent opportunities that are now available to the renewed Royal Society of Canada. Tomorrow, we will celebrate the 18 new elected Fellows of the Royal Society of Canada and the 12 award winners for 2012. The weekend is meant to provide scholars, scientists, artists, and their friends and families with the opportunity to socialize and to enjoy scholarly content. J'aimerais conclure en réitérant mes remerciements à son Excellence le gouverneur général, président d'honneur de la Société royale du Canada. C'est un honneur que nous avons en très haute estime. I wish you all a wonderful evening and a memorable weekend. Bonne soirée et excellente fin de semaine.
Madame la Présidente, merci beaucoup. Voilà que se conclut l'ouverture officielle de l'Assemblée générale annuelle 2012 de la Société royale du Canada. Before you leave us this evening, friends, may I invite you to collect a tote at the reception area on your way home. In it, you will find information about the 2013 Annual General Meeting in Banff, as well as information that will allow you to access the expert panel report on early childhood development. May I once again thank Dr. Macaulay, the University of Calgary, President Grisé, and His Excellency, the Governor General, and all of you for your attendance this evening. I would like to invite you to now enjoy the pleasure of one another's company, and I wish you a wonderful weekend in Ottawa. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir.